The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
Today I want to share with you guys a story that's one day too late. When I was in 8th grade, I went to a typical Jewish school. Even though as students we weren't so connected to Judaism, we didn't come from religious houses, but we had proper rabbis that were guiding us. And I was lucky enough to have Rabbi Zecharia Wallerstein, Zecharia, as my Rebbe in 8th grade. I remember that my 7th and 8th grade, those 2 years, it was a time of a lot of trouble. I was getting sent to the principal's office many times, and basically one day Rabbi Wallerstein comes to me. He tells me, listen, opens up the Chumash, reads me the first psukim over there, and he says, what did you do last night? I was shocked. I'm not going to get into details, but I was shocked by the ability of the rabbi and the Torah to really exactly pinpoint the thing I did the night before. Then Rabbi Wallerstein tells me, stop making trouble. You're going to be a big rabbi one day. And I just hear those words and I say to myself, me, a rabbi? What relationship between those two concepts? I wasn't religious whatsoever. I did not come from a religious household. My parents were Israeli IDF soldiers that came to America to make money, and we didn't even grow up in a house where culture, the Jewish culture, was so important to us. So with all that, I hear the rabbi's voice and I'm continuing on my life. I go to high school, and in high school, I continue in this direction of mischief and trouble until I find myself at the age of about 19 DJing in big parties in New York, big parties such as Pasha and Islands and Water Taxi Beach, different things like that, and completely in the other direction. All day I'm in college, working out, lifting, MMA fighting. All my friends are Italians, Russians, and one day I wake up and I just have this vivid dream. I remember it. I see this dream as Rabbi Wallerstein is looking at me. I'm sitting in his classroom and he's just disappointed. He's disappointed at me, and I wake up, I go to my mother, I tell her, Ima, Ma, what's with this dream? It's a very weird dream. I haven't seen Rabbi Wallerstein in about 8 years. And it's bothering me. And it was at that point that something sparked up within me. I decided that I'm gonna pursue this internal call, this message, even though Rabbi Wallerstein was very hard to reach, and I didn't get a chance ever to tell him the story. But what was that I went to a few shiurim. I decided I wanted to go to a birthright trip. From that, I decided I want to go to Israel after college to, see what it is to really learn Torah. I fell in love with the place, with the spiritual journey. I decided to completely delve into that. I was about 3 years in Israel before I met my wife. Afterwards, I was another 4 years there with her, learning Rabbanut. Now I'm a rabbi in the Silicon Valley for the Israeli community, and I owe a lot of this to Rabbi Wallerstein. I wish I could have said this story to him personally, but considering the circumstances, the minimum that I could do is share this story with his family and other students, because many people know Rabbi Wallerstein to be a person that would help people that went off. But I don't know to what extent people know that there are many people out there that he caused them to go on the direction, people that never had any connection. And it's really, I think, if we want to take the great message from Rabbi Wallerstein, it's really about seeing the good in a person. Even though I was in 8th grade, I was such a big troublemaker that nobody wanted to know, but there was no hope for me. The principal sent a letter to my parents that really I should be going to not to being expelled. I did get expelled a week later, but it wasn't even about getting expelled. It was, they were saying that maybe I should even sit in jail for the amount of trouble I was doing. And Rabbi Wallerstein is still able to sit there with me in the classroom and tell me, you're going to be a big rabbi one day. It's really his ability to see the good in every single person, his patience. Everybody knows how much things were on his shoulders. To really come to a child, a 12-year-old child, and to make him feel important. And I think that's the message that he wants us to continue onwards. So may this clip be Leilu Nishmato.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org